Today's cauliflower day, so we're going to take some of these pre-grown plants and I'm going to put them in 10-litre pots. These are called YXL. Never grown them before, but we'll have a look, see if they're any good. I've noticed one plant in particular has only got one leaf left on it, and I have seen a few pigeons around here, so I suspect somebody's been down for a bit of a nibble. But I only want about 4 plants anyway, so we're alright. But just before we get into this, I want to show you another development on these plants that we've got growing outside this container garden. Just over here, we've got that cucumber plant growing in this container. But if you look underneath that leaf, we've got its first cucumber growing. And I can see a couple more behind that as well. But this one is in full flower. And we've got that little cucumber starting there. So that's brilliant, considering this plant's been outside since we potted it on. These are containers that I'm going to be using. They're only 10-litre pots, but we're going to try it anyway, see if we can get some small cauliflowers. So they've all been filled with compost. We'll add that fish blood and bone and we'll get some plants in. And 10 litres might not sound much for a cauliflower plant, but you have to remember that cauliflowers are actually quite shallow rooted. So a container as little as 8 to 10 inches deep is plenty. It's just the width of the plant that's the concern. Ideally you want 18 inches for one plant. But I'm going to try and grow a small cauliflower in these containers just to see if it works. And to be fair, I don't have a lot of luck with cauliflowers, so I'm hoping this year is going to be a little different. So I'm going to add fish blood and bone to each container, about an handful once again. We'll get that mixed in. Something like that will do. So that's all prepared, and we're just going to put one central, and we're going to make a deep hole. And there's a reason for that. When you grow these cauliflowers, this stem can get quite long and it can also start to bend. So what you want to do is plant it right down to that V, covering all that stem. That's going to give you a more stable plant as it grows. Then it won't fall to one side while it's in this container. We can see there's plenty of roots as well, which I'm just going to untangle. Then we're going to push that plant in. So on this occasion, we're going to push it down deeper and just leave that V part of this plant sticking up like that. You guarantee your plant's going to be very stable at that. And apart from watering, that's all we need to do. So as I said, I'm going to do 4 plants. So once again, that nice deep hole, and I'll just pick the best looking plants that I can see. I think anyone except that one leaf plant there, they'll be alright. Quick loosening of those roots, straight in, and press it right down to that V. And all you've got is these 2 leaves above soil and these 2 leaves. Make sure you firm them in as well. They don't like growing in loose compost. And that's your second one done. That's a nice little plant there. In, down, firm, job done. So now we've done that, we can take a closer look at these plants and you'll see exactly what I mean about sinking them right down as deep as that. No stem sticking out of this container whatsoever. And we'll leave these to grow, and hopefully those pigeons will leave them alone. I have still got a few left in this pack, and there's some quite decent ones, so maybe I'll do another couple of containers. Definitely not the easiest things in the world to grow, and especially if you're a new gardener. I've been doing this for years, and quite often we find that the cauliflowers reach a certain size and then they split open because they're bolted. Once that happens, they're no good. And there's a couple of reasons for that happening. It's extreme shifts in weather, so it's really hot, then it's really cold. But also, not keeping that container moist will also cause it. Cauliflowers do not like to dry out at all. So you need to keep your eye on those containers and make sure that there's some moisture in that container all the time that plant's growing. Don't ever let them completely dry out. But we've now got 4 containers already set up, and hopefully this year we'll get something out of it. I'm pretty sure I am going to buy some more containers and get the rest of them plants in, because what we're going to do is, to combat against extreme changes in heat, we're going to put them at the back of this caravan, because that gets part sun, part shade every day, and I think that's an ideal place to put them. At least that way we've got more chance of these being a success this year, and if not, we can always try again and start some off in autumn to overwinter. That at least gets rid of the heat problem. So if you've not already started off some cauliflowers, you can start some off now. If you can get hold of some pre-grown plants and just put them straight in, you're away. And by autumn, you should be harvesting some nice little heads of cauliflower, even from a container that size. But if you can get one that's at least 18 inches in diameter, that would give it more of a chance. We'll see what happens with these, and then we'll repeat this process come autumn if we don't get anything out of it, and see how they go. Just before I go, I'll show you the progress of some of these vegetables that we put in those 2-tier planters only a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, this one is doing really well. Those shallots are really starting to shoot up now. The carrots behind have also put a nice bit of size on, and we've got these lettuces, little gems, which are now starting to form enough leaves to start picking them if we wanted to. And below that, we've got that Lola Rosso. Once again, very small plants that we put in, but they've got some really good size to them now, and so is those beetroots. And if we wanted to, we could start picking beetroot leaves, or just leave them to get some full-size beetroots. I'll think about that and make my mind up at some point. Next to it, we've got this planter as well, and we put some marigolds in this one, and a couple of tumbling tom tomatoes. Once again, they were very tiny, and they've really come on. But look at the size of these lettuces. Little gems once again, even bigger than the ones you've just seen. And behind that, we've got carrots and celery. And I don't see any problems with any at the moment. They seem to be growing perfectly fine. So that's brilliant news. So far, everything else on this caravan container garden seems to be growing perfectly fine. So if you want to see what else we're going to be growing on this caravan container garden, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one.